Honourable Member for Humber East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is with a great sense of pride and humility that today I rise in this honourable House to address the Assembly. I want to begin by expressing my deep gratitude to the people of Humber East who have placed their trust and confidence in me to represent them as their member. I will pledge that I will work hard to do my best to bring forth issues that are relevant and important to all of the constituents of Humber East. I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the support of my family, my wife Betty, my sons Reg and Martin, as well as the excellent team of supporters and volunteers without whom this election victory would not have been possible. My campaign for this office began back in August when I decided to seek the Liberal nomination. At that time, the leaves were green and still on the trees. And when the final ballots were cast on November the 25th, those leaves were long gone and early winter had already begun to sink in. Now, sometime between all of that, they did turn red, which was nice. While the campaign for the nomination and for the district was long and arduous, it was very fulfilling to meet so many residents of Humber East and to have the opportunity to listen to their concerns for this beautiful area of the province. Part of my plan was to speak to as many residents as possible and knock on every door in the district. My goal was to listen to as many concerns as I could during the campaign. It was also a great fitness motivator, as I was able to lose about 20 pounds during the campaign, which is attributed to walking down probably Humber Road and up and down over the hills. Mr. Speaker, with regards to myself and my background, I was born in Fordo, Labrador, one of 8 children, to the late Wilfred Flynn and Isabella Barney. In the years before he was married, my father and his father spent winters on the west coast of the island, actually adjacent to the district of Humber East in the area behind Mount Moriah, wood cutting for Bowater's pulp and paper mill in Cornerbrook. After marrying my mother and returning to Fordo, he spent a greater part of his working life operating and managing the general store in Fordo that served the residents of the area. My mother, as was custom to the day for most women, remained home and I feel did a great job bringing us up. After graduating from Mountain Field Central High School in the early 70s, I attended the College of Trades and Technology here in St. John's in a program, Commercial Cooking. When I was 19, I returned to Fordo and started my first venture into the business world, operating a food service establishment in 1975. Over the years, this small establishment had grown to a much larger enterprise that included restaurant, lounge, bakery, housekeeping units, 2 grocery stores, and a manufacturing plant for preserving the sale of wild native berries from this province. Mr. Speaker, during that time I was fortunate to meet my wife Betty, and in 1977 she had moved to Fordo as a public health nurse. We married and built a home in Fordo where we raised our family. We later on expanded with my family and our business interest to Cornerbrook and the Steadybrook area. And it wasn't long after that we chose to make a permanent move to the West Coast in the district of Humber East. Mr. Speaker, from the early days, I can remember I'd always believed in being part of the community. And it means just more than filling up a space in that community. As Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, we have always exhibited a generous spirit when it comes to assisting our neighbours and doing what we can to make our communities a better place to live. It is this belief that helped me make a conscious decision to become involved and offer whatever talents I could to contribute not only to my community, but to the province as a whole. Over the years, I've been blessed to serve in a number of capacities, covering a broad range of interest. Mr. Speaker, some of them would include, but not necessarily limited to, I served for 30 years as president of the Labrador South Home Care Board, which was a volunteer board serving roughly 100 clients with 25 employees. I served 6 years as mayor of my community of Fordo. I chaired for 20 years the Labrador Straits Historical Development Corporation, building on our culture as a tourism product in the Straits. I was a member of the Provincial Committee for the Gulf Ferry Forum report on Deck and Below back in, I think, 2000. I was chair of the first Regional Economic Development Board, a member of the Labrador Institute for Northern Studies, which was an arm of the university that did research in Labrador. I served president of the Cruise Association of Newfoundland and Labrador for 5 years. Mr. Speaker, at the helm of the Cruise Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, I had an opportunity to work with many groups around our province on a clear objective to increase our tourism potential. The wealth of experience and insight I gathered during my time with the Cruise Association helped me to understand the value of looking outside of the box and eliminating how things are done wrong, but taking what was right from other jurisdictions around the world. Everyone knows the old saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. While our industry, the cruise industry, has grown in leaps and bounds over these 5 years, almost 300%. And Newfoundland and Labrador is now a key destination for cruise ships from around the world, even though we're way out into the mid-Atlantic. But we have lots of room to grow. Visitors are excited to learn about our culture and our unique heritage, whether they land in the port of Corner Brook, along the Labrador coast, or here in the capital city of St. John's, who I had the privilege of working with Mayor Dennis O'Keefe over these years, and we've become really good friends. Mr. Speaker, I also had the privilege to serve a 2-year term as a president of Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador, much as my colleague across the way. It was a great pleasure to work with so many service providers in our provincial tourism industry. The association advocates strongly on behalf of all stakeholders for a vibrant and diverse tourism sector. During my tenure as president, we worked aggressively to grow the membership of the association, and I am very proud of the success that Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador has made over the years. Today, the association is working with its members to adapt innovative technology and further educate the province and indeed the country and the world about all the benefits that we have to offer here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Mr. Speaker, these organizations and others similar to this play a vital role in the development of our province. They give a voice to the people at the local level and provide for input for those who might otherwise not be heard. One of my goals as member for Humber East is to connect with the organizations in the district to hear their concerns and to bring their issues forward in this legislature. Mr. Speaker, the district of Humber East, located on the west coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, as all of you would know, takes in a portion of the city of Corner Brook, the town of Massey Drive and Steadybrook, Humber Village, Humber Valley Resort, Little Rapids, and a portion of the town of Pasadena. On the western side, it also takes in the community of Pinch Gut Lake. The district encompasses elements of both rural and urban makeup, and from an aesthetic perspective, it is absolutely the most beautiful part of our province. Over the course of time, both before and after Confederation in Canada, this area has been dynamic and a contributing partner to our province and its economy. From the beginning of construction in 1923 to present day, the Corner Brook Pulp and Paper Mill has been a lifeblood of the local economy. With its associated industries in forestry, transportation, sawmilling, and so on, it remains an integral part of the West Coast economy. As the paper industry moves forward, we need all that we can do to ensure that Corner Brook Pulp and Paper is able to survive and continue as a viable entity. Mr. Speaker, the Humber River has long been a destination for tourists seeking sporting adventures, and right from my own front door, I can actually do salmon fishing if I so had the patience. Canoeing or rafting, hiking, and associated activities. We have not tapped the full potential that this river and Deer Lake itself can bring to the area. Likely not, and we must be innovative in creating an environment where other businesses can begin and grow and flourish in this area. Mr. Speaker, in the winter of 2016, Corner Brook and the surrounding communities will host the Canadian Special Olympics. It will be an exceptional opportunity to host athletes, coaches, and people from all across our country. Residents from all over our province will gather in Corner Brook that winter to take in the games, which include alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, curling, figure skating, floor hockey, speed skating, and snowshoeing, and probably a little snow shoveling as well. This will be the first time the Winter Games for the Special Olympics will be held in our province. I am looking forward to showing the rest of Canada just how much the West Coast has to offer. Mr. Speaker, sitting in the heart of the district of Humber East is one of the finest ski hills in Canada. On any day during the winter, Marble Mountain can attract anywhere from 900 to 1,000 visitors, which could mean up to 90,000 visits during the ski season. Marble Mountain is an important contributor to the economy of the district. During the winter months, it not only provides jobs, but it also creates an increased use in our restaurants, accommodations, retail stores that might otherwise experience a slow economic time for many of these businesses. Mr. Speaker, I believe the potential of Marble Mountain extends beyond the winter season, and in looking at similar ventures across Canada, many of those have developed into 3 or 4 season businesses. I believe that by creating the right growth environment and encourage business development, Marble Mountain can continue to grow and expand, bringing in more jobs and more tourism to the district and indeed the entire province. Mr. Speaker, the cultural identity of our province can be a catalyst for advancing development. As I reflect on my own experience in the development of the tourism industry, I know that people enjoy coming to this province and spending time here. Yet I am not satisfied that we are doing all that we can in this area. Whether it is improving our many attractions or even lobbying for better transportation rates and accessibility from the mainland, we must do our part to make Newfoundland and Labrador a choice destination across the country and around the world. Mr. Speaker, another wonderful asset to the district of Humber East is the Port of Corner Brook. The port itself is a sheltered, deep water port that is strategically located, for easy shipping to and from destinations in North America, such as ports along the St. Lawrence Seaway and in the Atlantic provinces, and in reality, anywhere in the world. The port is readily accessible on a year-round basis. A tremendous amount of infrastructure has already been established to support commercial, industrial activity at the port. The Port of Corner Brook has a tremendous amount of potential, and it is imperative for all the stakeholders and all the potential partners to work together to find a way to maximize this potential. We are fortunate on the West Coast, and specifically within Corner Brook, to be the home of the Sir Wilfrid Grenfell College and the College of the North Atlantic. Both of these have been great assets to the district as economic drivers and also institutions of learning. Colleges in similar situation serve to generate ideas which contribute to the growth of communities and indeed a society as a whole. Partnerships in educational institutions are often tied to new ideas around business development, research, and tourism, just to name a few, Mr. Speaker. I believe there are opportunities here that would benefit not just Humber East, but indeed the entire province. Mr. Speaker, throughout the years since Confederation in 1949, our province has relied heavily on the development of our natural resources, the fishery, forestry, mining, hydropower, and most recently, oil and gas. Thankfully, we have been blessed with many of these, and they have been instrumental in sustaining our provincial economy and providing for our people. Over the past decade or so, there seems to have been an over-reliance on the oil and gas as a mainstay for our economy, to the point where sometimes we are held hostage by the volatility of prices within these markets. Obviously, the current drop in oil prices is a testament to that fact. More than ever, it is important that we begin to work hard to examine viable other options to diversify our economy and introduce other revenue streams to complement our reliance on natural resources. And one of these things we have to do is to enhance the environment in which business and small business, in particular, can grow and flourish. As an example, we need to find ways to assist small business in the marketing of our products and getting to the world markets. We have come to realize how important marketing is in the fishing industry, and I would think that as we try to expand that industry, it's so important that we market our products. Mr. Speaker, time does not permit me to speak of all the interest I heard from residents while campaigning in the district. But one of the issues that was paramount to the minds of the constituents as I traveled throughout the district was health care. No exception. The delays in the construction of the proposed West Coast Hospital and the lack of some primary medical services in the district were important concerns for the area residents. Residents of Humber East are anxious to see the construction of the hospital to begin, and I look forward to working with my colleagues from both sides of the House to ensure that that happens quicker rather than later. They want to see the establishment of a healthcare facility that not only addresses their current needs, but also their needs for the years and decades ahead. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I am very happy to stand in this honourable House to represent the people of Humber East. I look forward to working with every member of the Liberal caucus and indeed all members of this House on important issues that not only affects the district but the province. I am very thankful and humbled by the opportunity that they have given me. Thank you very much.